Welcome, my dear 8th grade student. Today we will talk about present simple and present continuous from your book, Unit 1, page 6, 11, and 12, which are talking about the same topic. First, let's start with the present simple. As you can see, present simple has the form of he, she, it with verb s, and they, we, you, I with infinitive verb. What does that mean? I'm going to tell you what does that mean. When the subject is singular, we need to use verb with s, like he plays football. And when the subject is plural, like they, we, you, and I, here we need to use after the subject infinitive verb, like I look down at my feet. We use this rule with keywords or in special places, like number one, with things that happen always, or we used to do few things in our lives, like habits and repeated actions in our lives. I smile when I meet new people. Also, it is used with facts and things that are lasting for a long time, like young people don't often shake hands. It's also used with repeated actions, or like every Saturday, every day we do something, each summer we do something. We use present simple with such kinds of actions. It also could be used with fixed dates and future, like when I'm saying my bus arrives at 3 a.m. It's also fixed. It's also present simple because it's a fixed date or fixed action. Exact time, I mean. Okay. Also, it is used when we are talking about feelings, like when I say I like banana, she loves her mom. Here we add s with love because she is singular, she loves her mom. I want, she wants, they want to eat. And it's also with thinking verbs, like remember. Do you remember when something happened? And I complete. Okay. Forget, think, and know are also examples of thinking verbs. We can also use present simple with feelings, like I feel, she feels, see, hear, smell. Also, we use it with adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency, we have already talking about them in page 6, and we are repeating them now when we talk about usually, always, often, and sometimes. These words are keywords for present simple. We use them with present simple. I mean present simple by adding s to verbs with singular subject and keeping infinitive verb with plural subject. Now let's talk about the negation. How should we form the sentence when we are giving negation for present simple? In negation, we are using do or does. As you know, do or does are auxiliary verbs for present in general. To give the negation, you add not to does or not to do. So it comes doesn't and don't. Look at this. I can say she doesn't. Doesn't, I'm talking about negation. By the way, I'm talking about negation, not the question. I'm talking about negation. Negation, we can use the subject if it's singular, like he, she, or it, with doesn't, because does is with singular, he, she, or it. So here we use not with does because we are dealing with singular subjects. He doesn't work hard. She doesn't clean her room. It doesn't work. Okay, so we use does and not doesn't with singular subject when we are talking about negative sentences, to negate these sentences. But when we are talking about plural subject and we need to negate this sentence to make them negative, we use do with not. These young children, as you know, children is the plural of child, plural of child. So These young children don't learn very quickly. Don't. They don't. We don't. I don't. So singular subject use doesn't and the verb infinitive doesn't work. But when the subject is a plural, we use to negate the sentence, we use don't and the verb infinitive. This is in negation. Now let's talk about forming the question in present simple. As we use do and does to negate the sentences, we also use do and does to form the question in present simple. How? Look at this example. We have already said that we use do with the plural subject. They, we, you, and I. We can use do with them. Of course, not does. We can't say we does or does we. We can't say you does or does you. No, just do with plural subject. Look here. In forming a question, you should start with auxiliary verb like do. As we are talking about present simple, you can use do. And after that, you need to add what? You need to add the subject, which should be plural. Because you are using do, the subject should be plural. Do you like your job? This is the question. Yes, I do, or no, I don't. When the subject is singular, he or she or it, you can use does. Does she? Does he? Does it? And after that, the verb and the rest of the question. Does she live with her parents? Yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. This is the question forming in present simple. Now, let's move to talk about present continuous. Present continuous form is that you have to add verb ing to auxiliary verb and the subject. What does that mean? Look at this page in front of you at your screen. When the subject is he, she, or it, you need the verb be. You need the verb is from verbs from be verbs, which is. Yeah, he, she, or it with is and verb ing. When the subject is they, you, or we, plural subject, here you need to add are with verb ing. And when it's I, as you know, you need am with verb ing. Let's have an example for each one. When the subject is singular, we said that we need is and verb ing from be verbs. Be verbs are three verbs: is, are, and am. In singular pronouns, we use is with verb ing. In plural pronouns, we use are with verb ing. And with I, we use am with verb ing. The first example. Mom is using the phone. Mom is singular, she. And as is the best verb from be verbs that we can use here. Use is the main verb with ing, and the phone is the rest of the sentence. Sammy also singular, he, like mom, she, is chatting to his friend. Okay, let's complete. My dear student, here we have another examples. Yes, here we have some keywords that we can use with present continuous. We can use present continuous with things or with future planning. With future planning, like he is playing football tomorrow. Tomorrow, I am talking about tomorrow. Future planning. He is playing football tomorrow. It's also with some words like listen, look, now, and at the moment, and also still. These are keywords for present simple. For present continuous. Okay. Now we need to talk about the negation in present continuous. Present in any kind or any rule, to negate any sentence, you just add not. But the way of adding not is differ from one rule to another, from one sentence to another. In this sentence, present continuous, mom is using the phone in the kitchen. I need to add not to this sentence. We said before that we add not to the auxiliary verb. We cannot add not by itself. We need auxiliary verb to add not. In present simple, we brought does and doesn't to add not, to make negation in these sentences. But here we have already, we already have is and are and am. As you can see here, look at the screen. You have is, are, and am. So you can add not to them. Mom is not, which isn't, using the phone in the kitchen. This is negation for present continuous. Now we need to talk about forming a question. Yes, to form a question, you have to change the place of subject and the place of the auxiliary verb. In present simple, we use do and does at the beginning of the question, and after that we use the pronoun or the subject. Here we have auxiliary verb, so we just change the subject and the auxiliary verb places. I mean, when your sentence is Ali is playing football, you need to make a question by changing the place of subject Ali, and the auxiliary verb is to be is Ali. Instead of saying Ali is, we say Ali is Ali. Is Ali playing football? We just change the place of Ali and is to make the question. We use stative verbs and present simple. I need to talk about stative verbs, which is in your book page, I think page 11, page 11. It's talking about stative verbs that we cannot use stative verbs with present continuous. Stative verbs are only stative verbs are only come with present simple, not present continuous. Even if the sentence is related to continuous, we just use present simple with these verbs. These verbs are, like you can see, I think you can see in front of you on the screen. At the screen, think, believe, agree, understand, know, remember, forget, realize, and wonder. Want, wish, like, love, hate, prefer, and feel. Smell, taste, sound, see, and hear. These are stative verbs that we can use present simple with them only. We cannot use present continuous with these verbs. It's not allowed. Okay. This was the topic of your grammar in Unit 1, page 6, 11, and 12. They were talking about present simple, present continuous, and stative verbs in present simple. I hope you can understand and you can watch this video more and more as you like to be sure that you understand everything. I hope you will prepare for your next class, your next Zoom class, inshallah. See you then.